Thank you, Minister. And can I say, I really welcomed your last statement. As you said, you dealt with the reality of what it's like in schools, so I'm glad to hear it. But I was listening to the debate. I'm conscious of the COVID restrictions, so I was in my office and I heard all your answers. And you've answered on July provision. And can I just thank you and those in your department who worked to make this happen? It's hugely important. But my first question is on this. Some schools do 2 weeks, some 4 weeks, some none. When can parents expect to get some information? And secondly, who will communicate that information to them if the school isn't involved? So that question first.
Okay, very briefly, Deputy, we'll make formal contact with the schools next week.
Yeah.
Okay, and the memo that I'll bring to government at the end of next week will be a comprehensive guideline for schools, for parents, to let them know what options are available to them. So next week, formal communications with the schools. And I just want to maybe acknowledge the INTO. They've been really proactive in this, and I know I've spoken to John Boyle a number of times, and they're reaching out to their own schools, and they're doing great work.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They have. And parents are very happy about that. Now, my two short questions. I heard the discussion around the South East TU and the Munster Alliance, and I noticed you mentioned the Connacht Ulster Alliance twice, Minister. Now, you said that the designated start date for Munster is January 2021, and good for them. But what I want to ask you is, as far as the Connacht Ulster Alliance is concerned, and with the current timetable, and assuming everything goes to plan. And just one point I want to make about that, Minister, is there is some flexibility there. The two of the three institutes can go together if they're ready and the third one is not, and it's important that that flexibility is used because it's in the plan. But one way or the other, let's assume the current timetable holds. When would you expect that there would be a start date there, if everything holds? 6 months, 12 months, whatever. And my second question also has been raised, and that's about the retention of teachers, especially in small primary schools. And I just want to mention one in my constituency, Tarman National School. They have 15 pupils and they're trying to retain their second teacher. You said there is an appeal system, and I accept that. But just 2 points I want you to consider, Minister. First of all, in the context of COVID, 15 pupils, 1 teacher. 15 pupils, 2 teachers. The difference that would make is huge. You won't really have any extra supports or anything to put into small schools because they can do the social distancing much better with 2 teachers. So I'm asking if in that context, for this year, you would consider perhaps waiving that requirement in schools that are going to lose that extra teacher, because otherwise you'll have to put in extra supports for those schools. So that's just one part of it. And the other is that many of these small schools, as you well know, are rural schools, and it becomes a cascade. In the last few years, well, good few years, but 7 rural schools, small schools, have closed in County Leitrim. So I would ask you, in the context of more people working from home, probably children more likely to attend national schools, if for this year, COVID and small rural schools, you would think in terms of applying that flexibility. Thank you.
Minister?
Okay, yeah, I'll try to do it in a minute there. In relation to the Connacht Ulster Alliance, we now have GMIT, Sligo and Letterkenny on the same page in terms of where they want to be, and where they want to be is to have an application ready for Q4. I'm not going to give a timeline after that because there's to and fro in that process.
How long does it take for the other universities?
Well, I mean, if we're getting applications in back end of 2020, we're looking at 2021. Now, I'm not going to give a time, but that's not been overly ambitious because 2021 has 12 months to run then, and we'll keep the momentum going there. You also, in relation to the retention of teachers, I feel your pain. It's such a difficult time, and principals and boards of management, they put in so much energy in trying to, even, is there a, You send national schools. Send me the detail on that, and I'll be happy to follow up on that. Okay.